Every year, Bulldog Days presents the chance for student clubs to show what their club has to offer to eager pre-frosh. This week, we sat down with a group that is pushing the boundaries of music, and some say has even created its own genre. We go to reporters Leopold and Steffina Yuli to hear more about Yale's very own A Squared, a club that is now 1 year old and also breaking new ground in music.
A Squared is a group of 12 Yaleys that are reinventing a cappella by adding Ableton Live, a sound manipulation software, into the usual mix of human voices. They've been able to create a whole new way of making music. The project is the brainchild of Jacob Reske, who first thought of the idea at the end of his sophomore year. 2 years later, his dream is finally becoming a reality.
I've always had this dream of doing an ensemble where you could combine the flexibility of the voice with like the flexibility of electronic music. And so I wanted to kind of explore that in this project.
Since they first got together just a year ago, A Squared has been snagging gigs at Yale and released 3 self-made music videos on YouTube. Each video has received over 4,500 views.
It's been really amazing to watch this idea that he had just become an actual thing, you know, and watch it grow from the beginning.
Yeah, we've been doing a bunch of different things. We've been kind of crazy all over the place. We did TEDx as well. We were one of their performers.
On top of these gigs, the group has also booked performances on a regional scale. Just last weekend, they were chosen to compete in Boston Sings, also known as BOSS, a regional a cappella festival that promised an a cappella revolution.
They had a great time. You know, it was a completely different experience because they've never competed in a cappella competition. Every time it's like A Squared is doing something different, new.
It's really interesting to see like how other people were reacting to it and how like the guys were like genuinely like just so surprised and humbled by the experience of like having so many people support you.
The group works its magic by singing live and with a touch of a button can transform their voices into sound effects in real time. The result is a blend of sounds that transcends traditional vocal boundaries.
We didn't even go out to it. We really just kind of came to show off our concept.
Though they didn't end up placing in Boston, the group did earn a standing ovation from surprised audience members.
And as it ended, there was this utter and complete silence. The music cuts out. And we didn't know how we had sounded. We didn't know how they were gonna like it. And so there was like, I guess like a 6-second period, which seemed like forever, of silence. And then the lights came on. And I guess that kind of shook people back into reality, and then they realized what had just happened, as did we. And it was a beautiful moment.
All members of the original 5 come from a cappella backgrounds. 4 were Duke's men, and 1 was from Shades. And though they have a shared respect for the traditional a cappella, they're quick to point out that A Squared is something completely different.
Like what we're doing, kind of vocal looping technology, rather than that being like a continuation of a cappella, I think it's just altogether divergent.
The reason why I'm on the team is not because, you know, I love music, but I can't sing for my life. I think the cool thing about A Squared is that we're looking at it as like a whole experience.
But with most members graduating within the next year, these Yaleys are now grappling with the question of what the future holds and what direction A Squared will soon take.
We've had amazing support this far. We still have a little ways to go. We're hoping it works out. But we also have stretch goals of possibly going on tour, doing more music videos. I actually have a bus sitting next to my garage that we'd love to fix up and go on tour in.
A Squared is definitely going to be something that is going to exist both at Yale and beyond Yale.
While the future remains unclear, the group is hopeful and on the most part seem very happy to be experimenting with their new art. To experience their new sounds live, you can catch their next performance at the Schubert Theater next Tuesday. For YTV, this has been Steffina Yuli and Michael Leopold.
Though made up of Yaleys, A Squared is an independently run group of student artists. They are seeking funding through a Kickstarter campaign that runs until April 27th.